Bruce Harrell. I don't know. I think I might get some crap from viewers for my take on this story. But the Seattle Times resurrecting a 30-year-old case from Iowa about Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell. Let's talk about it in our segment, Unbelievable. Whoop. Okay, so of course, Mayor Bruce Harrell's running for re-election, and I've said that I would prefer someone else. I don't believe that he's made good on the promises he made when he initially ran. He's ending his first term right now. But I've also said that he's probably the best that Seattle voters are going to be willing to do. And I think there's better options out there for sure. Like Rachel Savage announced her campaign. She was in for Sundays with Subscribers. She is an absolute savage when it comes to calling out the absolute hypocrisy and BS and failures of Seattle. I don't know if we're going to see her campaign take off because she's kind of an unknown entity. But, you know, Bruce Harrell is like as moderate a mayor as I think Seattle is willing to elect. And so the alternative is some loony lefty or borderline socialist that's going to just drive Seattle deeper into the gutter. So I'm by no means a Bruce Harrell stan, but I also just think, like, here we are. You know what I mean? He's probably going to get another term. Well, not if the Seattle Times can help it. Because in their diligent reporting on his second campaign, they have dug up an arrest from 1996. This is the headline from the Seattle Times. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell was arrested in 1996. He says it was racial profiling. So let's just read through this version of their story. In September 1996, now Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell was arrested in front of an Iowa casino and charged with 3 misdemeanor offenses: carrying a concealed gun, brandishing the weapon toward another person, and resisting arrest. All 3 were eventually dismissed by prosecutors in March of 1997, in part because Harrell apologized to the arresting officers. Harrell was approached by several people in a casino parking lot in Council Bluffs, which is just across state lines from Omaha. Witnesses said Harrell was seen brandishing a gun at someone in the parking lot. Private security then called police, who searched his car and found a .25 caliber semi-automatic pistol. He said he mistakenly thought the person at the casino was one of the people who had threatened him, and that while he displayed the gun, he did not point it at the person. In his statement to the Seattle Times, Harrell said he'd been racially profiled by a private security officer and detained for having the gun in my car. He subsequently hired a law firm to investigate the arrest and sent a demand letter to the casino, though he never filed suit or made any settlements. Okay, so an arrest in 1996 he was never convicted of anything for. 30 years ago. So there's a couple of things here. First of all, why bring this up now? He's been in the public spotlight for a really long time. He's been a Seattle City Council member. He was the Seattle City Council president. He's been the mayor for 4 years. So I have to question whoever leaked this. Because, I mean, the Seattle Times isn't just looking up arrest records in Iowa, right? That wouldn't make any sense. Why would you do that? So somebody found it and leaked it to the Seattle Times at this moment. And I would just be like, isn't it a little late for that? The dude's already mayor, right? Is an arrest from 30 years ago where he was never actually charged with anything, or the charges were never filed and dismissed, and like, is that really an issue? Now, I had some people, when I pointed this out on social media, that it seems like a weird planted story, right? It seems like, oh, the Seattle Times like can't have a moderate, so let's just, I mean, sure, it's some crazy lefty who doesn't want him to be in office anymore because he's too pro-cop or whatever it is. So they've dug up this thing and they're going to go try to push it out, and the Seattle Times is more than happy to oblige. I had some people on social media saying, yeah, but you went after Semi Bird. Semi Bird thing is totally different. Semi Bird was convicted of stuff, and Semi Bird continues to lie about these things today. Mayor Bruce Harrell didn't lie about it. He's like, yeah, that happened. He just didn't, when he was running for mayor 4 years ago, bring up an arrest in 1996 that didn't result in anything. But when they brought it to him, he's like, oh yeah, that did happen. Semi Bird can't tell the truth about all of his past. So that's not even the same. And he was running for governor. Totally different. But I just fail to see, I guess, the point of it. Doesn't it seem, Nicole, like a planted story?
Yeah.
Because what else could it be?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, I think it's somebody that knew about it for a long time and just got mad about something, because why wouldn't you have brought this up earlier? And the Seattle Times does credit an anonymous source.
I know what they're mad about.
You do.
I do know what they're mad about. And you know what? It is actually the only thing that Bruce Harrell is guilty of, making really bad jokes.
I have an announcement to make. I'm just kidding.
Throw him in jail for that. He should be arrested and jailed for that. 1996, not so much. But I'm really glad the Seattle Times is using its journalistic prowess to dig up these very important issues from 30 years ago as opposed to, I don't know, hold elected officials right now accountable. I mean, even Bruce Harrell. Hold Bruce Harrell accountable for not making good on any of his campaign promises around public safety and homelessness. Dig into the homeless industrial complex. There's a million things you could be using your investigative prowess on and your time and energy besides this. It's just kind of strange and unbelievable.